Hi everyone, Nick Blazer here with another position analysis video. I might do, well, I'm doing at least one here from a online match that I did commentary for recently from the World Team Championships WBIF tournament. This one was in the round of four teams left. Germany facing the United States, Rory Pascar against Marcel Joachim. I wonder if I did that better. They told me the k in Joachim is softer than I was doing it. So I don't know. I'm bad at other languages. Anyway, it was an interesting one that Rory paused to think about for a long time over the board. I wasn't sure at first what his dilemma was, and then as I looked at it longer, I kind of had some interesting ideas about it, and I think there's a cool concept here that we can learn from this one. But before we look at the answer, real quick, I just want to share that I will be doing commentary for the following tournaments coming up soon. So we have that Gibraltar tournament coming up in the beginning of February. I'll be doing remote commentary for that, and I'll be traveling on site for the Texas Backgammon Championships in San Antonio, and then on to London in March, and doing remote commentary again for the Rockies. So and then on to Cherry Blossom in April too. So come hang out, check those tournaments out if you're looking for one to go join up or your first tournament to play, anything like that. These are all great ones, added money and cool things like that. Good people running them, all that stuff. But okay, so this 5-1. Maybe you're thinking you'd like to slot the 5 point and your five's not so great. Maybe you slot the ace with a two. I don't know. Everything looks kind of destructive. You don't want to give up the seven either. And you don't really want a bunch of blots in board while you're waiting for your opponent to come to you and hopefully get a shot. But the thing that you might not have like immediately considered is playing something from the 22 point here. And there's a couple features here. We'll go ahead and show that that actually is the best play is to go ahead and make an outfield outpost there. Over the board, Rory just slotted 2 points, which I thought seemed pretty natural. But actually, this like third best play here too to me, of coming out and slotting the six with it seemed pretty reasonable to me. Leaves more shots when you can just make the point instead. So there's some tactics there to talk through. But why is it so much better to leave the 22 than to sit back on the anchor and just wait? Usually in holding games we want to wait on that anchor and not get closed out. Well, the big signals pointing to this play to me are all the dead checkers behind and the semi-crashed board and the lack of ammunition to attack us on the 22 if we do leave it. So it looks pretty safe to just leave this anchor and keep contact with just a single checker. And we need to be watching out for these endgame scenarios where we get to that point where it's a good spot to keep the anchor contact without actually having an anchor. You can play a single checker anchor. And because all these checkers are dead, we don't really like the value is the contact, but we don't need the point to keep ourselves from being attacked anymore. Only aces and deuces or something like this, or maybe the 1-2 could pick and pass. But for the most part, we're not losing that much, if anything, by staying back with just one checker instead. And then, of course, coming to the outfield allows us to be more present for shots when our opponent inevitably runs to us. Typically, when we're trying to contain our best place to be, I think, is usually either 11 pips away on the 17 or 13 on the 19. 12 away, I don't know why. This is just a rule that I got taught at some point. But in this range, like the closer to that you can be, the better. So bringing a checker out 11 away is pretty nice because it'll freeze 6-5 and sixes can still get by, but everything else should probably have to move into a direct shot range. And even, I guess it looks like double. Well, I don't know, like maybe some other doubles land back there and things like that. But usually our opponent's gonna have to come into range and maybe and leave at least a single shot. So really, there should be a dilemma. Keeping the anchor should be like, oh, we don't need to do that at all. And then, do we want to make the 17 to block the 6-5 and not leave those shots in addition to the 6-6 and 4-4 that can hit? 3-3 would hit as well. Um, or we could come out there and slot the five like you saw as an option here. I guess the problem with that being that most of the time we're going to hit and then we have a blot to deal with, which could be a problem. And we also give up some fly shots out there too. So this is like tactical getting these two, but you can see it wins more games and just gives up some gammons at the expense of that. So the DMP play is to stay spread out there, and then when our opponent rolls any sort of like eight or lower, Oh, did I miscount this? This blot is actually 10 away, and we're talking about 9 away here. So we'd love to be parked even further back. Okay. Sorry about that. But yeah, so when our opponent rolls 8 and less, a lot of times they're going to have to come into like with a 6 or a 5 into double shot range if we just park on the 17 and stay there. But we're giving up all 9s, which is 5 numbers, and all 10s, which is another 3 numbers, instead of just blocking 9s. And I mean, those are nice to block because the 9s are going to include a 6 or a 5 that's going to be forced to play from the back and come into range. So I think probably the tactical dynamics of that are pretty nice. But really, we can see it's just about not wanting to be a hit and potentially giving up gammons by making the bigger, more winning play. But yeah, the big thing here again is just spotting that this is a nice opportunity to come off the anchor and control a little bit more of the outfield instead of spending checkers inefficiently by playing to the ace or something like this. It's a real problem for winning here to play all the way to the ace point because now in this final position, we don't have that many ways to cover the 5 point. So it really hurts to give up that ace to cover it in addition to the deuce. So it should look pretty unnatural to make a play like this. But maybe it's still difficult to find something like breaking the anchor. Yeah, tricky, interesting play. I thought it was a really cool one when I just actually looked at this today. I didn't see the answer while I was doing the commentary. But I'll put a link to that video. It's on my channel as well. I did live commentary for that match. So you can hear the talking about it and see Rory shuffle checkers around and try to figure this one out too. It was a fun match all around. Yeah, but that's it for today. Maybe I'll be back with more from this match. I think there is some interesting cube decisions for Rory too. Maybe we'll do a couple from that for a few days here. But okay, I'll be back every Monday and Thursday with more position analysis videos, Fridays with interviews. So yeah, subscribe to the channel and support me that way if you don't mind. I'm really trying to get to 1,000 subscribers on there. I think that'd be cool. And liking the videos, I think, helps them show up in as like recommended from other videos and stuff like that. So yeah, if you can help me out that way, I really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.